Hello, good evening, all. This is Karen.
And I'm Delasber.
How are you doing this evening? So, we come this evening to talk about um, being an exception to the rule. Um, how many times do you feel that you were an exception to the rule? Um, People may look at that and think of it differently than I do, as I've been told. That I look at it a little bit differently, but for me, when I say that, I mean, there's people that say, oh, so and so happened and everybody went except me. Or, you know, everybody was able to get on that ride except me. Or, everybody got that book except me. And I realized that the except me part, at first people would get offended by it. Like, why didn't they invite me? But then I realized for me, I felt as if, and a lot of people after I've had this conversation, they feel that, as I feel, that when you say accept me, I realize that God has kept me aside because I'm an exceptional person. And exceptional people have to do things differently than other people. It's not it's it's not easy for me to be with people who are not of integrity. Because I'm a person that is exceptional, my I'm only going to attract like people. So people that generally hang with me or in my circle, they are exceptional, they are leaders, and they have integrity. And God has always surrounded me with such people. And when I come in contact with people who are not that way, it almost seems as like they make it seem like it's a me problem. When it's not really a me problem, we just don't gel, but also they are not there with pure intentions and they have poor integrity. And I don't my spirit won't cling to that. So for me, being the exception to the rule has always been an amazing thing for me because I feel that God has set me aside for greater things because I'm a leader. I am not a follower. Example of that is when you see everybody else running over to that and you stand back like, no, I'm gonna leave that alone. And there's a reason why you do that. God gives us discernment, and I've had been, blessed to have great discernment. So it's okay for me to be the exception to the rule because I know that I'm an exceptional person and I know who I am. I don't need to be in the spotlight. I don't need people to always say, "Oh yeah, Karen, is that?" That's not a need for me. It happens because I realize that I have one mouth and two ears for a reason. I'm supposed to do less talking and more listening. And when I am in alignment with God, He gives me all the glory. He gives me all the accolades that I need. I'm not looking for a person or people to give it to me because I know who I am. When people have the tendency to always want to be in the group, I want to do this, I want to do that, it's because they're trying to find themselves. And they don't know who they are. And they're thinking they're going to find it in these other individuals. But for me, I don't feel that way. So um, I don't mind being the exception to the rule because I know that it is something that God has put on me and I'm okay with it. And I am blessed to have it. And again, I have to be able to be in alignment with Him to even know that I have been chosen to be the exception to the rule and be okay with it and not feel that it is a lack and it leaves like a spot on me because it doesn't. It actually makes me better in my position in life and what I am and what I'm doing. So being an exception to the rule has always been an amazing thing for me because again, I'm okay with it. And it definitely propels me forward. So I there's no problem with me being an exception to the rule because I'm an exceptional person.
Ooh, and yes, you are. You guys, while you're popping in, hello, Dr. Finch. Thank you for joining us tonight. We want you to tell us in the chat. Tell us about a time when you felt like you were an exception to the rule. You know, when Karen came up with this topic for tonight, I was like, I don't know about that one because I take it from a different standpoint. And she gave me a different way to look at it. You know, I have been now for the past, I might as well say 10 years, being the accept person. Everybody got invited to family dinners and family get togethers and family vacations except Delasper. And why wasn't Delasper being invited? Because of Amory. Because people didn't know how to deal with or how to handle or how to even talk to Amory. So they shied away from her. And it was hurtful to me. But you made me think of her as being a person that has to be in the right atmosphere. And she's being placed where she needs to be to grow. And that just gave me a different outlook on it. I have honestly gotten over not being invited to stuff. That doesn't phase me anymore. But now I try to make sure that whenever anything's going on with me or getting going on with Amory, that I don't have any exceptions to her rules. I make sure people are feeling like they are a part of and not apart from. Exception to the rule. I guess I've always been, I hadn't really thought about it. I grew up in a very racist society.
Mm.
Um, it's a funny story because I actually, this is African American history. I can actually remember in my hometown when black people were not allowed to go to the white people park. And it was so strange because as a teacher, my principal, shout out to Faye Phillips, decided she was going to teach everybody how to swim. And she was like, I'm going to do lessons. And, because we as teachers need to know how to swim if something happens to one of our children. I'm like, I guess we do, but where are these lessons going to be held? And she said, it's going to be held at, she named the park. And I went, you do know they don't let black people in there, right? And she said, what? And I said, no. I said, we don't go to that park because we weren't allowed to go to that park. So when
Mm.
we think about in my hometown, when we think about swimming, that park never comes to our mind. And it was just strange. And I can remember when one child got in the pool, I was like 10 or 11 years old, and they shut the pool down and drained it and cleaned it and filled it back up. And I was just sitting here thinking about that and thinking about exceptions to rules, how exceptional that child was that he would even dare, not knowing now that he was not supposed to be there, but even dare step foot in that arena or life. Or how many times have you stepped foot in a door where you weren't supposed to be? You were the exceptional person. I think about that now. And this conversation is making me think about how exceptional my child really is. She's not your normal, everyday, average little girl. And I'm not just saying that because she's mine, um, but that does help. I'm saying it because if you ever truly get to know her, you would realize that her spirit is so much bigger than I think this world could even contain. And I think that, like you said, God protects her and God keeps her away from people and things that could possibly break that spirit.
Hmm.
So I'm kind of liking that exceptional factor now. Thank you. It's kind of whatever. Hello, Siobhan.
Oh, hey,
Siobhan.
Sean.
Hello, darling. Now, y'all, I'm really waiting to find out when you guys felt like you were exceptional. I see 7 people watching, but I don't know who you are. So please just say hi and tell us your name so I'll be able to see it. Um, it's it's remarkable when you really stop to think about how, for lack of a better term, your steps are truly ordered. and you're put in places to make you rise, and you're not taken places where they can pull you down. So what do you feel about pulling everybody? Hello, Yvette, how are you doing? What do you feel about pulling everybody into the exceptional realm? Do you think that everybody has something about them that's exceptional, or do you think there are just certain people in this world who are exceptional people and there's nothing they can do about it? If that makes any sense to you, Karen.
Um, I mean, like I said, being exceptional to me is a gift. It's always protected me. It's always protected me. I can't tell you a time where it has not. It has protected me. And like again, when you're young and you don't understand, when you're young, you want to be a part of everything. I want to go with my friends. I want to do this because you think that group thing and that is what you need. But when you are growing and developing and God is ordering your steps, you know, there's several people I know that says everybody that come with you can't go with you, right? And that's just so true in life. As we get older, you know how you shed skin, you shed friends, you shed, and you like you for you, people that everybody invited to the houses and with your family, and they didn't invite Delasber, but it was to protect AIM. It was to protect AIM, and it was to protect you. At first, you were sad about it, right? Because you're like, why? But I couldn't imagine her being in a space with people who don't know and didn't want to learn how to communicate with her. Because just because she's nonverbal does not mean she does not communicate. And I say that to you all the time. And her spirit is amazing. She's amazing. And you don't ever want to take that from her. So God protects her all the time for that reason and several other reasons. And I feel that people generally don't think about it because they assume it's, well, why are they treating me this way? And what? Because they look at it as something negative. But when you sit and you think, instead of having this pity party or this woe is me, think about the joy of it. There is a moment when we can sit back and kind of reflect on why things are happening. People can see the negative in it, but you can also see the positive in it, right? And I can't tell you that I had a problem with being the exception to the rule. I just never did. And when people look at it a different way, like you said, you never looked at it that way. But it's our perception, it's how we look at things. And if people tend to look at things in a negative way, that's what's going to happen. If that's what you put out, that's what you're going to get. You know, I don't choose to look at things in a negative way. Could I? Sure. But again, on a couple of the talks we've had, I always said, you know what, just because something bad happens, it doesn't mean that I have to immediately go down that rabbit hole of negativity. How I respond to it, it's up to me. Because people like to dump, right? They like to dump their things on you, call you up and say, girl, they angry. So now they want to pass that negative energy off to you. And then you say something positive, and they're like, well, oh, I can't talk to you. They can't talk to you because you're not going down the rabbit hole with them, right? So, I mean, and that's a part of being the exception to the rule. Because anybody else would listen. Yeah, girl. Yeah, you know what? And they would go down that hole. But because you are the exception to the rule, you'd be like, yeah, no, I don't look at it that way. And immediately it don't gel with them. Immediately they're like, no, I can't talk to you. And now you're the problem. Even though you just weren't being negative. You were just being positive. I just know that if people can change their perception, and it's not easy, but in growing and learning, which we do every day, you learn to have a different understanding of things because there's more than one way to look at something. But to have tunnel vision all the time is not helpful. It's not helpful. It's just not helpful. Tunnel vision does not help. Unless there's something going on and you trying to escape from something and there's some big thing going on and this is the only place you can go is through that tunnel, then that's different.
Mm-hmm.
But, I said to you earlier, Delasper, God gave us one mouth and two ears. It means I talk less and listen more. Because when you listen, if you can't sit in silence with yourself and listen, you can't hear. You
Exactly.
just can't hear. And it is important for me to be able to hear. So I just know what I'm doing. It's no way that I could be discombobulated and be all over the place and then try to help somebody, because then all that negative, uncontrolled, negative anger will pass over to the people that I work so hard to help, and that's not helpful to them. So being like I said, if people could, have a different perception, just focus, try to change it. If somebody say, "Oh, everybody has some. Oh, I missed the bus. I missed the bus, and MTA is never on time." But then you say, "Well, what happened? What, did you leave your house on time?" And then they'll turn around, they'll get the story. "Well, I did leave 10 minutes late." So really, was it MTA, or what? You didn't just time yourself right? But then you say that, now you're the bad person, right? But you're just trying to give them the eye, like, hey, it really wasn't them. It just.
Mhm.
But I also learned that sometimes people are not ready to hear the truth.
That they are.
Yeah, they're not ready. And if they're not ready, ain't no sense in you doing it. Because when people are not ready and they're closed, you're wasting your time, because they're not going to listen to you. And everything you say and do is going to be a problem. So I just learned, listen, one mouth and two ears. If you going off, mm. But guess what? I'm like, gotta go. I just know when to bow out gracefully. And I know I'm not following everybody, because again, I'm a leader, and I will continue to lead. I will always have integrity. I will always be intentional. I will always have integrity, and my spirit will not lead me to be with anybody that does not have integrity, that is not intentional, and they continue chaos. Not gonna happen. So for me, I look at things. I look at the word that way, because you know not everyone thinks of it that way. They assume that it's associated with something bad, but it's not. How about you, ladies? How have you been the exception to the rule?
Yeah, you guys say hi. Your hi matters. I see four people, but I can't tell who's watching. Um, and we've been up to seven. I don't know who they were though. So we need you to say hi so we'll know who you are. You know, um, it's so it's so overwhelming to me sometimes when I start to think about exceptionalities and knowing that I'm set apart. Um, Too many times to count, Dr. Finch.
Yeah.
Yeah, but Dr. Finch, you are exception. Yeah, you're exceptions to many rules. I gotta say that. Yeah, yeah, I can see how that could be, because you are just in your field. You're an exception to the rule. Uh, Being first of all an African American in your field is amazing, but then to be a female African American in the field of technology is unbelievable. You are few
Yeah.
and far between, and I applaud you for that. And being able to the stand and be the powerhouse that you are. Yeah, I'm going because you would go too. Uh, but that exceptionality stuff and being able to recognize your own exceptionalities, being able to recognize what it is about you that sets you apart, that's something I've never really been able to do about myself. I do it immensely with other people, immensely, but I've never been able to do that with myself. And I like to know how many other people are that way. Do you see other people as exceptional beings, but you can't see yourself as one? Is there anybody else out there like me? Now, I know that Miss Karen is not, because she does see herself as an exceptional human being, and for rightly so. But is there anybody else? Siobhan, Yvette, I see you guys out there. Do you guys see yourselves as exceptional beings, or do you see other people all the time? Are you able to spot your own exceptionalities and know that you are who you are? Wow, Dr. Finch, you used to be that way? Well, Dr. Finch, since you said that, what changed? What made you be able to start seeing yourself as the powerhouse that you are, that everybody else saw? So tell me what did that for you. What do you think, Karen? What do you feel about that? How do you feel about that?
About Dr. Finch
About
being
Dr. Finch, about you yourself. You know, I know you think that you've always seen the exceptionality, so you've been okay.
ah, there you go.
Ooh,
See,
okay.
you see,
Hmm.
and that's amazing. You see that?
That I do. That is
Okay,
amazing. That is
okay,
amazing. And she is the bomb.com. So, you know,
okay,
is she
okay, okay.
so what do we do? How do we get I guess my question is, how do we get it? I could ask myself this too, because I like I say, I have a problem with this. How do we get our young women to see their exceptionalities and to see that I just have to say this. Their exceptionalities are not their butts. Okay. I don't want to see pictures of butts anymore, y'all. Your exceptionalities are, how do we get them to see that? How do I get Amory to grow up knowing that she's exceptional? What do I need to do? What steps do I need to take? What what do I need to say to her? That's what I need to know. Do you have any ideas on that? That's for everybody in the that's listening in the audience. If you're catching it on the replay, hit hashtag replay and tell me what you think. But Karen, that question is for you as well. What needs to be done? What needs to be said? What needs to be said for your young gentlemen's sons? You know, what do you need to say to them to let them know that they are exceptional human beings?
I mean, it's a good question, especially when we are raising African American kids. Especially for me, raising African American males that are targeted every day.
Yes.
Um, we have the tough conversations, but when we do have the conversations, it's always in love. With love, I allow them to express themselves. But and I don't know if it's just our people, but I think that, black men have it tough already, and when you add other things on top of it, black on black crime, cops killing you, when you add all these extra layers to their shoulders, and, just from a young age, they get called the N word, they get called, and you have to have this love talk and this talk of you are this, you are that, you are handsome, you are smart, you are amazing, you can do anything that you put your mind to. Never take no for an answer. Never say I can't. I never allowed my kids to say I can't. I was like that we cannot use that word in this house. There's no such thing as I can't. I never allowed them to use it. We had to change that verbiage really quick. I let them know that you are exceptional young men. You are kings. Never let anyone disrespect you. Never let anybody call you the N word. Never let. I had these talks. Me and my husband had these talks, and we continue to have these talks. And now, the last one, you see how confident these kids are.
Yeah.
They're very confident. But these conversations were long. They were difficult, but we did it in love, and we
Mhm.
always led in love, and we continue to lead. How many times I tell them, I love you, even when I'm like, I love you. Even when I'm like, I love you, because they need to know that they need to know that they're loved, despite their inconsistencies, despite, it's just you have to have a love language, but you also have to love yourself. I could
Mhm.
not love my husband nor my sons if I did not love myself. Now, self love is not easy when you don't feel you're worthy of it. And I always let them know you are worthy of love, you deserve love. I just affirmations are important, and I affirm them every day. They have affirmations every day for me, and this is way before I even embarked on the health field. I just knew that I wanted them to know what love was, that it was real, and that it's okay to have emotions. Like you have to be supported because a lot of black men they feel that, oh, I'm not gonna cry, I'm a man, I'm not gonna do that. But that is so unhealthy. It is so unhealthy. It's just we have to just like take these, I don't know what you call them, but these, oh, I'm a man, I do this. Some of those things are just detrimental to men in general.
Mm-hmm.
Race doesn't shouldn't come into play to that. But I know that there's a lot of men in general that just won't even shed a tear because they feel it's I'm not a man if I do that. And I'm like, yeah, well, real men cry. It has nothing to do with race. It's just real men cry. You have an emotion, right? But sometimes they don't feel they're worthy of love. You know, it's so deep rooted because our people have been so oppressed and have been treated so bad for so many years, and they don't even know who they are. And when you start to peel back those layers and they start to understand what love really is and how love can conquer all, and you can do so many things and burn, so get rid of so many hurts, and you can just break generational curses when start empowering our people, our young men, our young women to love themselves and not be a statistic. It's easy to do what you see everybody else doing because it feels right, but to be the one person to be like, I'm not going to do that, it's hard for people to say, I don't want to do that, I want to be different, because they don't want to be looked at differently. But sometimes it's what you got to do. You got to break away from the good old gang and be like, I got to do this because that don't feel right. This is what I need to do for me. And it's the break off, even though it's a lonely break off, because it's lonely, but it's what you need to do for you. And even though you're lonely, you feel better in that aloneness, right? And I you feel better in it. I think it was Tyler Perry who said, this is not verbatim, but what he was basically trying to say was, I'd rather be alone in the corner in my house with a puppy than be in the house with somebody where I'm catching all this hell. You understand? So you want to make sure that in that loneliness, that you are happy. It's just, it's powerful. It's very powerful. And we don't have enough time. We don't have enough time to really, really dig deep and dive in, because I totally know that our people, I mean, my heart aches for them. I have brothers, I have siblings, and that being the exception to the rule has just been, it's just, it's deep, Delasper. And you have to show them love. You have to tell them that you're right. You're more than the booty that you popping over there. You're more than that. You have to have self-love. It's not about a man buying you a diamond ring and all this other thing, because that's materialistic stuff. That stuff doesn't matter. What matters is your heart. What matters is how you feel about yourself in the morning. Those things matter. I want to be able to look at myself in the mirror. I don't care how much crust I got in my eyes. I don't care about all that, because that's what soap and water will do. Soap and water clean that right up. But I need to be good with me. And that's a journey that a lot of our people are so afraid to take, because that means you got to look inside yourself. And that's if there's some wounds there, some covered up, bad situations, abuse, whether it's physical or mental, that's couch lay down stuff, and people don't want to do that. So I mean, I'm here for all the love. I'm here to give it. I'm here to listen. But I also know that we are powerful, powerful people. I mean, remember, we had a Black Wall Street. That didn't just happen. I mean, we are powerful people. And I really want us to go back to being that. But until we can get over this, oh, you got black sneakers, I want black sneakers. Oh, you got red sneakers, I want red sneakers. Until we can stop and stop doing that, it's just amazing. That's right, Miss Yvette. That's right. Because can't nobody love you like you do. Can't nobody love you like you do.
That's my sister from another mister. And yes, she loves herself some Yvette, and she is wonderful at that. and it's trying to work on me to get there, but I
All
ain't
right,
made there
so
yet.
you there, Mr. Lasper.
Yeah, Denise,
Yes,
we are.
we are. We are. We
You know,
are.
it's just strange when you say we're powerful people, because I'm going to go back to uh, one statement that Dr. Finch made earlier. Hey, Denise.
Hi, Denise.
Um, and this really struck me because she's saying it was my father for me. He told me he had three ordinary children and two extraordinary, and he needs to be prepared for me at all times. Well, she felt like her dad was a powerhouse himself, and he thought he had to study to deal with her. You know, I wonder sometimes if, because I tell you, and I tell you this all the time, the smartest person in my house is Amory. And oh, you agree, huh? Sometimes I think I really need to go back and do a little studying, because this girl is, doing some stuff that to me she shouldn't be able to do at her age. And I was like, okay, I'm pretty soon she's gonna be outsmarting me. I gotta try to fix something. I gotta try to do something. But like you said, we've got to teach our young people that all of this is irrelevant if nothing is here or here. And that's where I think, honestly, with us, I think we as a race fail. We're too worried about materialistic things. I can remember when I was like 9 years old and I had this favorite cousin of mine. And I don't know how he got to be my favorite cousin, because he was old as Methuselah back then. But he was my favorite cousin. And he told me, when he took me to this Merrill Lynch, because he had some Merrill Lynch business. And I was just in awe of what he could do and how he could do it. And all these people basically coming to him and saying, do you want me to do this? Do you want me to do this? What do you want me to do with this? What do you want? And I remember him saying, I want you to see this because I want you to know that we can have this.
Mm.
And then he took me shopping and he said, pick out a ring that you like. And I said, okay. So then I'm just, picking out rings. And he says, you see this? And he picked out the ring that I had told him I wanted. Y'all, I don't know why I wanted a solitaire marquee that was 2 carats when I was that young. But he said, when you graduate from college, I'm going to buy this for you. And I said, called him by name and said, why would you buy this for me? He said, because I don't ever want you to think that you need a man to do it for you. I want you to know. And when a man comes at you with money, or when he comes at you with diamonds, or when he comes at you with rubies, you'll be able to say, oh, my cousin bought me that a long time ago. Do you have anything else? What else can you do for me? Because I need something other than materialistic stuff. That stuck with me. And I found myself, when I started dating, I started talking to men and I started asking them their goals.
Mm.
I started asking them, what was your dream? What did you want to do when you were little? Did you do it? What did you do instead? Why did you do that instead? And I started having real conversations, and some of these people didn't add up. So guess what? They got pushed to the side. I think we've got to teach our girls this now. It's not about what he can buy you. It's not about what you can get from him. What are you coming to the table with?
That part.
What do you have that he needs and is not your body, believe you me, because he can get that anywhere. And that's what I want to get through to our girls. And if I could do that, like they say in church, my living would not be in vain. It would not be. Exactly. Denise, you got it right on head. Too
Mm-hmm.
much emphasis on this materialistic stuff. We're not about that.
They have to have standards. You have to have standards, and their standards have to be higher than the pole or a Gucci bag or all these designer names, and because all you're doing is paying into somebody's last name anyway. You're building their legacy.
Exactly. And if you want that, because I'm going to be honest with you, it is my heart's desire to one day before I die to own a very specific Louis Vuitton bag. Now, the thing is, I'm going to buy that bag for myself.
Right.
That's going to be for me. It's not going to be from anybody else. So know that. Know that when you want these things, if you want them, live your life, go to school, get your education, get a good job, live your life so that you can do this stuff for yourself and you're
Or
not
be a great
dependent on
entrepreneur.
anybody else.
You're right, but also let's add to that, be an amazing entrepreneur, because a lot of these kids now, you know, some of them have an amazing mind and they don't even know what they can be, but we see it in them and we're like, you're amazing, you're great. And they thinking, me, I didn't graduate high school. Me, there's a whole bunch of people out here making 6 and 7 figures that don't have a high school diploma.
And you know, one dropped me out my seat.
I mean, but they are amazing people.
That's
They
right.
are amazing people. They are amazing people. But the thing of it is, with African American people, they won't even look at us. They won't even they won't even look at us. And we don't have an education. If we don't, or we don't come with some, like if you're an entrepreneur, you have to, you start from the bottom and you come up, and then somebody and you already in 6 figures, then they'll have a conversation with you. But when you was a thousandaire, they didn't want to talk to you. But now you're a millionaire, now they got all the time in the world for you. I mean, it just speaks volumes. I just think we are an amazing people and we can do so much. And our young women don't realize that they make the world go around. Without women, you don't have people. You can't create without a woman. I'm not talking about other ways for people that can't do it the natural way. I applaud them. I'm not talking about that way. But what I'm saying is, women, we keep the house. We cook dinner. We care for the kids. You cannot do it without a woman. And if we don't have standards and respect ourselves, the men that we date will not either. And the children that we have for these men that don't respect us will not respect us either. And that's how you get these generational curses. And the only way to break them is to set a standard, say, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to do something different. I'm going to be the exception to the rule. Hey, there's nothing wrong with it. It is nothing wrong with it. I am the youngest of 5, and I am the only person I'm the only one out of my siblings that is in the health field. The only one. I graduated college at very early. I'm not going to say, but I graduated college. I can say it. I graduated college the first time at 18. So I've always been the one to be like, oh, I never had to really study. I just sit in the classroom, get it, and then boom. But, that probably was like gut punching to my siblings, but it didn't mean that I didn't love them. I loved them any less. I just had to do my own thing. And my own thing was going to school, doing what I needed to do for me, because that felt right for me. And there will always be people in the world that don't do it that way, but it doesn't mean that they are not exceptional, because you would have to be an exceptional person to not have a high school diploma, to not have all that education behind you, and you still are a 6-figure earning person or a 7-figure earning person. You are an exceptional person. You are the exception to the rule. People don't expect that. People sure don't expect to see me. I laugh when I say it, but people sure don't expect to see me. They don't expect to see me at all. When they say, "But wait, who's that?" Oh, well, who are you? Because they want to know who I want to see. I want to see the nurse. Well, I'm a nurse practitioner. I'm the person that you want to see. What do you mean? I mean, I actually had one person say to me, "But you're black." I'm like, "Yeah, that would be me. That's me. That's me. I'm here. How can I help you?" That would be me. I mean, because I can't stop being that. I can't stop. I cannot. There's something I can't change, and I wouldn't. I wouldn't. I am very happy in my skin. I'm very happy with who I am. But you just got to get past whatever it is for them. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
It's just I am happy that we are having this conversation. I'm happy that we're having a conversation because it is something that needs to be had, and people need to realize that. You see what Dr. Finch said? She said, "Now she's what?" She didn't say. She said, "Now she's what?" What was the word? Did she say extraordinary? Okay,
And she said she knows it now.
okay, that's a powerhouse move. That is a powerhouse move. But she knows who she is. Dr. Finch knows who she is. She don't need nobody to come tell her who she is because she knows that already. She knows that already. She don't need to be, oh, I want to be first in line. She don't have to do that because she knows who she is. That stuff don't move her. This woman is about her business. She knows who she is. And that's powerful. That is powerful to know who you are and move in that. That's amazing. That is just amazing to me. That's amazing.
And to know who you are and whose you are, and don't allow the other people to come in and try to shake you, even to try to make you doubt yourself, because that will happen a lot. And that's the one thing, well, it's not the one thing, but it's one of the things that, helps me in dealing with my life is knowing that I know what I can do. I know how well I can do it.
Mm-hmm.
It's up to you to decide, do you want me to do it for you or do you not? Now, when you figure that out, you let me know. But I'm not going to sit here and beg you to try to get me to help you when you know you need me.
Huh.
And
All
I
right.
know you need me.
All
So
right now.
I'm here
All
and
right
I've opened my
now.
arms to you.
All
And I
right.
think that's kind of the way I feel about you. It's like they know they need you. So what's the problem? Come on.
Well, you know what the
You know,
problem is. We all know what the problem is. Is this I can't get it off. They can't get past it. So,
I
but it's fine.
know.
But I love
I,
him anyway.
I
I
scrubbed and
love him
scrubbed. It
anyway.
didn't come off.
I love him anyway. I love him anyway. You gotta love him past it. When you're 80 or 90-year-old and you saying that to me, I can't change that because that's the time you grew up in, because that's what they called us. But when you a 20-something-year-old, it's different. But I find that the older people say it because they don't know better. But by the end of the time I spend with them, it's, oh, sweetie, you're really nice. Or you really is. I'm not trying to change your mind about me. I'm just trying to give you the love that you didn't get before. So next time you run into somebody that looks like me, you'll treat them a lot nicer. You'll treat them a lot better. And you'll actually have some respect for them. You don't have to say thank you to me, but I know you're thinking it. Because I did you, I gave you everything you needed without you asking. You don't have to say it, but I know you're thinking it. And that's all that matters. Because I know the person that comes after me, you will respect them. So yeah, I laid the groundwork for the person that's coming behind me. You can give me hell, but the ones that come behind me, you will not. You will not.
And that's what this life is about, laying the groundwork for the people who come behind us. That's what being an entrepreneur is about, especially in our world. That's what it's about, laying the groundwork. We got a lot of nurse practitioners out there, but a lot of them aren't laying the groundwork like you are.
Mm,
We have a lot of autism world communities, but a lot of them are not laying the groundwork. The concept of touching the heart of people is what we both do. And that's the thing I think that connects us because we both, this girl is up. That's the thing. Sorry. That's the thing that connects us because we both work and strive to make connections with, for you, our patients, for me, my autism moms, saying that this is life. We're sorry it is this way, but this
mm,
is how we got to handle it.
that's
What do
right.
we do from now?
That's right.
We're exceptions to the rule.
Right.
And we're with a group of people who are exceptions to the rule.
Right. I know on my desk it says nursing is a work of the heart, not a work of art, a work of the heart. And I have it there, and everybody says, "No, it's really cute." And I'm like, just keep reading it. Read it 2 more times so you can understand it. It
Exactly.
is. It is. But it's what we do, and I do it proudly. I don't wake up every day thinking, "Oh God, I gotta go to this place." So I gotta. No, I know what my purpose is. I know what I'm supposed to be doing, and I do it boldly, and I do it proudly with a smile on my face, and I have no regrets. No regrets at all. If I didn't tell you I had a business management degree, you would have never known that. You would have never
Exactly.
known that. That's right. Yeah, but I'm glad we had this conversation. It's important. It is very important, and people need to know. To look at things a little bit differently because being an exception to the rule is actually good.
Yeah, I like that idea. I just want to take the time to say thank you guys for stopping in with us and spending a little time with us. Yeah, uh, Karen got me on this no meat thing, and I'm just going to take this few seconds to tell you this. I didn't have much I could eat, so I was eating peanuts, and these peanuts have jacked my stomach up. So I've been sick all day long. Um,
Why do you
but
say that?
we're still on the no meat kick. I'm still hanging in there.
It's
So
only
if you
7
want to
days.
join us
It's only
for the
7 days.
rest of the week,
It's only 7 days.
uh,
It's 7 days.
until Saturday, hit the word group in the text and I'll send you a link to the group meeting and you can join us on this journey for loving our hearts for the month of February. Actually, I'm just doing it a week, yeah. But loving our hearts, we are on a roll and we love you. Thank you so much for joining us. Enjoyed you, Boo, too, Yvette. I can't wait to come see you. Um, I miss my Shreveport family and my Mansfield family. You guys, it's been real. Karen, it's been an honor.
Oh, thank you, B. It's always an honor to serve with you.
I'm going to have to go and get into bed with your baby now because she's
That's right. Give my
giving
boo
her
some love.
daddy the devil.
Give my boo some love.
You guys, thank you so much. Remember, peace out. Have a good night.
Have a good night.
You have all my love. And we'll see you tomorrow for day seven.
Seven. Day
Yeah,
7.
day seven of 28. Good night.
Good night.